At one point, we heard the Green Bay Packers talk a lot about an undefeated season in Super Bowl. But yesterday, the Green Bay Packers faced off versus the Cleveland Browns and had to have a taste of some humble pie in the NFL. In Houston, Texans, hey, Houston, we have a problem. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you got to hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby. And hey, if you're tuned in, love talking football, man, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Hey, the Green Bay Packers, though. They was in a dogfight in Cleveland in a game that ended 13-10 on a game-winning field goal by the Cleveland Browns. And what in that last drive before the game-winning field goal? Complete execution. Complete execution came from the Cleveland Browns on that last drive for them to where on the last play to give their kicker a better spot on the field. They was able to complete a pass, get down, run up, spike the ball, clock it with 2 seconds left, and went out there and won themselves a game. Now, here's the humbleness that a lot of teams around the NFL, especially when you're talking to younger teams, that they have to realize when you enter the NFL. You cannot go out there and make any proclamations without first putting it on what I call wax. A lot of teams around the NFL have to put it on wax, bro. There is no thing that you can come out there and guarantee in the NFL without ultimately running into a bakery that will hand you a slice of humble pie. When we look at the Green Bay Packers, we heard players come out saying, I feel like we the best team out there. I feel like there's no one that can beat us. But ultimately, you got to go out there and play a football game. You can not only play games at home to where you feel good, you got the crowd rocking. You have to travel in this NFL league. You have to travel in the NFL. And for the Green Bay Packers, they were handed a slice of humble pie. Now, I understand that there's not a lot of people that believe in the Cleveland Browns quarterback in Joe Flacco. Hell, I'm not even the biggest fan of Joe Flacco right now starting for the Cleveland Browns. But one thing I can depend on, or one thing I know is going to show up for certain for the Cleveland Browns, it is absolutely that defense. That defense will keep them in a lot of games. That defense for the Cleveland Browns will make games tough for whoever comes to town, or if the Cleveland Browns have to travel to wherever town and play a football game. The Green Bay Packers, you looked at Jordan Love, and Jordan Love in an opportunity to go out there and win the game or help you extend your lead that you had at that particular moment. He throws a bad interception that started to take things and change things for the Cleveland Browns. After that interception, you've seen a number of things. Jordan Love ultimately tried to come back and help his Green Bay Packers team win a football game. But guess what? You relinquished some momentum to the Cleveland Browns, and then they went out there and blocked a field goal. And you allowed the Cleveland Browns to lock in and then go out there and take the game. They went out there and took the game. Now, after the game, you had guys like Micah Parsons for the Green Bay Packers come out there and backtrack his comments. And that is it's right on par with what typically happens with younger teams who start to, quote unquote, as my old school G-man used to say, smell themselves. You ain't done nothing in 2 weeks. They are still a really good football team. That's the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are still a really good football team. But at the end of the day, you cannot go out there and cash a check if it ain't got no numbers or no signature on there. Y'all ain't did nothing. That goes for a number of teams. You have to have humbleness, and you have to go out there and play football games just like every other team has to in this league. They got humbled because the Green Bay Packers was talking about undefeated seasons. The Green Bay Packers was talking about being the best in the league, but it's one thing to talk about it if you're the Green Bay Packers. It's another thing to actually go out there and do it. It's another thing to actually go out there and do it. You can believe that you're a really good team, but you have to show it in this league. You just can't go out there and look at your team lined up against the next team on paper and say this is a win. No, any given Sunday is a real phrase, a cliche phrase in this league, and it stands every single weekend. Every single weekend, it stands. You have to put it on wax. And for the sake of me, I'm looking at ESPN Milwaukee. I'm looking at a number of ESPN outlets that cover the Green Bay Packers, and they are crashing out on Jordan Love. Crashing out on Jordan Love. Because as experienced as Jordan Love is, you cannot go out there and throw interceptions like that when you have the game in your hands to pretty much lose. You have that game right there available for you. And Jordan Love is a talented quarterback, but he has those moments to where you question Jordan Love and like, bro, can he get it done? You have those moments to where you looking at, hey, Matt LaFleur, and all of us football watchers know there comes a point in a time to where you can kind of gauge how a coach feels about his quarterback. Typically, some coaches that believes in their quarterback gives them the opportunity to go out there and win. When it comes to Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, and y'all can call me crazy all you want, I don't care. There are times to where Matt LaFleur is dialing things back and trying to reel things in and saying, we're going to lean on Josh Jacobs, our running back. We're going to try to scheme open something a little bit more, stylistically to where we can have Jordan Love have a easy read and be able to make a play. But when it comes to certain moments where you see Jordan Love chucking up Hail Mary balls, you seeing Jordan Love taking ill-advised sacks like he did at the end of the third quarter versus the Cleveland Browns, or where he goes out there and turn over a crucial turnover with a pass you do not make, you see why Matt LaFleur dials it back for Jordan Love. Now, this is not the end-all be-all. It's not the end-all be-all. It is only week 3. But these guys got humbled. They got humbled in a major, major way in Green Bay. You can talk on undefeated all you want. You can talk about Super Bowls all you want if you're the Green Bay Packers. But at the end of the day, you have to put it on wax. Nobody is going to sit up here and crown you just because you have a really good team. Yeah, people will consider you as a contender. But at the end of the day, you have to show up and win football games. That's it. And one of the most glaring things is that the Green Bay Packers offensive line got whooped by the Cleveland Browns D-line. Whooped. And there was injuries piling up for that Green Bay Packers offensive line. So where do they go from here? Hey, you take that humble pie, you eat it, you move on. Because now you got a game on Sunday night versus Dallas Cowboys coming up. And y'all can still bounce back in that game because the Dallas Cowboys that we just seen yesterday, their defense is atrocious. So you can very well go out there and put belt to butt. You know what I'm saying? You can very well go out there and put belt to ass next week. But this is some humbleness in saying, hey, we can't get too high. We can't get too low when it comes to wins and losses in this NFL. If you're the Green Bay Packers, you have to take everything week by week because game plans are going to be different. Things are going to happen. Turnovers are going to happen. Weird things are going to happen. Play calls are going to happen. Weird calls from the officials are going to happen. But how do you bounce back? How do you manage all this stuff during the game? You can't just come out and say, if you're the Green Bay Packers, we're planning on going undefeated and going to get the Super Bowl. No, it doesn't always work out like that, bro. It doesn't always work out like that. And you guys gave the Cleveland Browns some bulletin board material to run on, and they were running. It's easy to play it's a lot more easy to play at home than on the road. Obviously, you still got to get the job done, but it's a lot easier to play at home than on the road. Now, when you go on the road, a lot of things that seem familiar for your team, it's not going to be so familiar on the road. There's going to be different advantages that's given to the opposing team once you're traveling on the road, and you got to either put up or shut up. And right now, The Green Bay Packers, you have to shut up for a couple days and go back out there, wipe yourself off, clean yourself off, and go into the next matchup ready to play. Nothing will be handed to you. So eat that humble pie, and then we'll see what happens for you know what I'm saying, as the weeks go on. But hey, can't talk about Super Bowl before you even go out there and put it all on wax. You ain't even knock off the Eagles yet. You ain't even knock out the Rams yet. It's okay. It's okay to have belief. But nah, you got to go out there and earn it. It is not given to you if you're the Green Bay Packers. But hey, let's move on to Houston. The Houston Texans. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. One more time for the people in the back. Houston, we have a problem. CJ Stroud has been buns this season. I'm sorry. Houston, CJ Stroud has been buns this season. In the offense, it ain't looking too good down there in Houston. Now, for the life of me, I don't know how the Houston Texans are losing games with a talented quarterback like CJ Stroud when their defense in the last 3 weeks has not given up more than 20 points. You took a L versus the Los Angeles Rams in a game that ended in 14-9. You took a L that versus the Tampa Bay Bucks that ended in a game 20-19. You took a L versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in a game that ended 17-10. So the defense is keeping you in there, Houston, but CJ Stroud buns. Call it how we see it. We know he's talented. We know he can be a lot better. We know he's capable of leading his team to a playoff. We know that CJ Stroud is capable of leading them to a division title. But in weeks 1 through 3, buns for CJ Stroud. I know he's going to be better. But as of right now, CJ Stroud has been buns. Somebody call the bakery and tell them we need to sell out the buns because he's been bogus. Week 1 versus the Rams, 0 touchdown, 1 interception, offensive line questionable, 3 sacks given up. Week 2 versus the Tampa Bay Bucks, 1 touchdown, sacked 3 times again. Week 3 versus the Jags yesterday, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, sacked 3 times again. We can say this, we can go out there and point and say it's the wide receivers, it's the running backs, they have no Joe Mixon. We can go out there and say all that. CJ Stroud just said I have not been good, bro. So one more time, Houston, we have a problem because it ain't good enough, guys. It's not good enough. You have a Jacksonville Jaguars team that appears to be better than you right now. You have an Indianapolis Colts that's leading the division right now. With Daniel Jones. And there is no excuse for CJ Stroud for how bad he's been playing. You are part of one of the reasons why you had to change at offensive coordinator. Your team, they made decisions to reshape the offensive line, traded Laramie Tunsil. I'm pretty sure that had something to do with them believing that they had to support you in a better way. And as of right now, 0-3, yeah, playoffs looking like it's out the picture for my man CJ Stroud. I'm not even going to hold you, bro. The playoffs are looking like they are out of the realm of possibility for my man CJ Stroud. That's just how it's looking. That's just how it's looking to me. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's just how it's looking to me. Because teams that have started 0-3, they rarely ever make the playoffs. I think it's only like one in the last 25 years to where a team started 0-3 and made the playoffs. You might be done for. You might be done for if you're the Houston Texans. Not even going to hold you. And that defense is so good. So good to give you the ball back whenever you damn near need it. Whenever you damn near want it back. CJ Stroud, you have to produce. And we can't go out there and say that they didn't try to bring in other pass catchers for him. They drafted 2 wide receivers in this year's draft. So CJ Stroud, him as an individual, as the quarterback, he has to be better to give himself an opportunity. The offensive line need to look themselves in the mirror. And this offensive coordinator need to get his head out his backside and make some things shake to where the game plan is more feasible for the players you have, not what you think you have. Not what you think you have, but what you actually have. They got to get it together in Houston, or it's going to be a long season, which is already feeling like a long season. But ain't no way in hell you can tell me that this defense has not given up more than 20 points. And y'all still 0-3. With CJ Stroud? That's absurd. That's absurd. D'Amico Ryans, bro, you got a job on your hands, brother. You have a job on your hands, brother. But we going to see what comes out of this, because your next game is another divisional game next Sunday versus the Tennessee Titans. Maybe you can go out there and get your first win versus a rookie quarterback in a team that is trying to find its way. But Cam Ward has been balling. The results don't necessarily show everything for the Tennessee Titans, but the Tennessee Titans, they're 0-3 as well. But Cam Ward has looked like he can compete and look like he can go out there and put up some points. You know what I'm saying? They have their struggles. They are still growing. The Houston Texans should be able to go in there and handle business next week and get their first win of the season. It's not completely done for. You're not completely done, but you got to crawl out that hole because you're in the hole, literally 6 feet deep. But ain't nobody put the dirt on top of you yet. Ain't nobody put the dirt on top of you yet, CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. Y'all got to be better, bro. You have to be better. But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode of NFL Central. Before you get up out of here, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell. We are the #1 spot for everything NFL. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you always love football. And y'all already know I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace out, y'all.
This has been a presentation